it starts, of course, with the expectation. It's all over the school. I mean, you see it says champions in all we do, and best is the standard. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're playing basketball and you're the sixth man, you want to be the best sixth man. Like that's your job. You're to be the best sixth man. That's how we approach things. The expectation is there. It's I'm gonna say drilled into them, but they hear it all the time. And it's not that we say if you don't win a championship, you're not successful. That's not fair to anybody. We want to win everything.
Welcome back to Building a Champion, the podcast where we highlight the programs and people shaping a culture of excellence in athletics. I'm Jordan, joined by my co-host Brian. Today, we are heading to Hoover, Alabama, home of one of the greatest high school basketball seasons in state history. Joining us today to break it all down is Athletic Director Dr. Harley Lamey. Welcome, Harley, to the show.
I appreciate you guys having me.
Yeah, it's great to hear from you. Great to see you today. The Hoover boys team went a perfect 35-0, becoming the first Class 7A program to ever finish undefeated while winning its third consecutive state title. On that same floor, the Hoover girls team claimed its fifth straight championship, their 11th overall since 2001. Simply put, Hoover basketball has cemented itself as a dynasty.
Yeah, what they're able to do is I mean, it's unprecedented. And not only was that the first time that a team's ever gone undefeated, it's the first time that the boys and girls team in any classification has gone back to back in 2 consecutive seasons. So that's never been done in the history of Alabama sports. And so Coach Ware and Coach Johnson do an amazing job. And the kids on the team are just, I mean, you know, they're great kids. They're fun to be around. They work hard. I mean, they're what you want. I mean, and that's what happens. You know, the little things they do right. I mean, it just breeds success, and that's what they expect to do is win, and they put in the work to do it.
It's unbelievable. Let's start with that boys team, 35-0, third straight title, and a place in Alabama history. What was it like watching this group complete a perfect season?
Oh, it was. I don't want to say that we, were expecting to win every game, but we kind of, with the talent level that we had on that group, when we got played close, it was kind of I want to say a shock. Coach Ware probably hate for me to say that, but they had I think two games that were really close. In the championship game, they had a good matchup, and but it's almost like they were kind of expected that to happen. I mean, we knew they were going to be really good, and if they just played how they were going to play, it, well, you see how it ended. I mean, they did what they expected to do.
How was that during the game? Because like you said, the championship game did get close. I'm sure people on the edge of their seats. I think it was 5 points, 4 points, and I know the crowd was rocking, but how'd that go? How'd that make you feel?
Oh, man. Watching the other team, they fed off at their fans, started feeling momentum, and but our guys, they never lost their cool. It was like just kept playing. They never a lot of teams, they get in a situation, especially you think back to like UNLV back in the 90s, where like they're supposed to win and they go out there and somebody plays them tough, and it's like, oh no, what do we do? We've never had this. This team just kind of kept going, and just it's almost like they don't look at the scoreboard. They just play. And, it sounds cliche, but, they play to a standard, and they just kept playing, never phased them. There was never any kind of like, hey man, you need to do your job. Like they just kept playing. And it just speaks to, what kind of kids they are, and the coaches that we have that have that instilled in them, that they're, never get too high, never get too low. You stay constant, and, and your game will take care of it.
Several players had huge performances. How did the team balance that star power with playing like a team as well?
I mean, if you look at that group, I mean, you had guys, of course, Dwayne Brown, goes to Tennessee, and you would think he would get everything. Dwayne probably liked to pass more than he'd like to shoot. I mean, and then you have Salim, who's at UAB, and that guy, I mean, unbelievable talent on the court, but again, could pass just as good as he could shoot. And then Jarrett Fairley, who, kind of, I don't want to say he got overshadowed, but everybody always talked about the two big names, if you want to call them big names, but he was right there too. I mean, he could start anywhere in the state and be the guy, be the focus of the offense, and it was never an issue. They just played. I mean, they've been playing together for so long. It was just like they're friends out there playing. There was never any kind of, jealousy or I want the ball more. There was never any of that. And it shows what you can do when you're unselfish and you play for the team. And that's what those programs do. It's as a AD, you get to watch it and you feel proud that they're out there and they're just competing together. There's no bickering or anything like that. It's fun to watch. It's kind of it's a special place, and that happens in all our sports. Our kids are unselfish and, they play and they know that we that we want to be champions in all we do. And that's what they expect.
I know the State of Alabama High School Association makes a big deal about the Super 7, no matter what the sport is. They advertise it, and schools travel. They will show up for championship games. And so I think I read somewhere this was a packed house, one of the largest crowds for a basketball state championship. And when that buzzer sounded, I know it wasn't just another win, it was a history thing. I mean, did that really sink in when you were there? And was the crowd really appreciating what they saw on that court?
Yeah, you could look out in the crowd and see there were people from, that weren't from Hoover. Like people just wanted to see what was happening. And that's, they get to come early and watch the girls play, and then we stick around and you watch the guys play, and get to see both of them that, have unbelievable talent. But when you talk to the kids, you wouldn't know that they're like the number one player in their class in the country. I mean, they're just kids. I mean, they're just great to be around. But then you get, you see, I won't call them old people, but you see the older group there to see it because they love come watching basketball, and then you get to see the kids that are in school that get to watch. Hey, this is what can happen if you put in the work. I mean, it was a good night. It was a special event.
Awesome.
You mentioned like number one player in the country. What are you guys doing different to establish these players at such a high level?
Well, it starts, of course, with the expectation. I mean, it's all over the school. I mean, you see it says champions in all we do, and best is the standard. So it doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're if you're playing basketball and you're the sixth man, you want to be the best sixth man. Like that's your job. You're to be the best sixth man. That's how we approach things. We got an announcement going on, but the expectation is there. It's kind of, I'm gonna say drilled into them, but they hear it all the time. And it's not that we say if you don't win a championship you're not successful, because that's not, that's not fair to anybody. But we want to win everything, and they know that. And even situations where the kids are coming up from middle school, like they want to be pushed. Like we're not having to, like when we start, our coaches, our varsity coaches get them and they start pushing them hard. That's what they want. Like they want to be coached hard. And so, we have kids that like I said, are top players in the country, and we have coaches that know how to coach those kids. And, sometimes it's hard. You've seen it happen before where coaches can't connect with the kids, but, Crystal Johnson is year after year has somebody who is the best in the country, or in top 5 in the country. And she knows, because she was that player back when she played, and she won a championship here when she played. She then was assistant coach and they won them, and now she's winning them, and that's all she knows, and that's what she expects. And her players know that that's the expectation, and they go in the locker room, and all the awards are there, the trophies are there, and you don't want to be the team that doesn't fulfill, doesn't live up to that expectation and the standard. And so it just, they do such a good job. I think it all boils down to that they love their kids, and the kids know that they love them and care about them. And they're not just a player, like that's somebody they invest time in. You can look over any Sunday, Coach Johnson and I go to the same church, and you look across and her players will be there at church with her. I mean, she loves her girls, and now she holds them accountable, but she loves them, and they play so hard for her. I mean, she's an amazing person, amazing coach, and it comes through with what she's able to put out on the court.
We read the accolades for the boys team, the girls team, just as strong, if not stronger. 5 straight titles. It's kind of unheard of. 11 overall, and an amazing performance in that championship game. They had a 51-44 win over Hillcrest. It started out fast, got a little bit dicey there in the second quarter, but then you guys were able to control that second half. What stood out to you about how this team responded under pressure throughout the year?
Well, she does a really good job of scheduling tough competition. And some of that goes from, it's hard to find games in state. And so she'll go and take them out of state. They'll go to Atlanta and try to find people to play. So they're constantly playing upper level competition. So, you get in a tight game. They've been there, they've played in those games. We played Hillcrest early in the year and lost to them. And so, there was a little bit of, hey, this is not acceptable. And so, you could tell the upperclassmen kind of, they felt that charge as the game started getting close. It was like they just took over. And then, of course, Kristen Winston just played lights out, and her being so young and to be able to do that, I mean, it speaks to what kind of player she is. And she's going to be, if she keeps progressing and keeps working, there's no telling what she's going to do.
And I think you mentioned something I wanted to kind of come back on. And one, I think holding your players accountable is a sign of love for them, because you want the best for them. And I think that's what you've said when she's got accountability for them. She only wants them to succeed. And something else you kind of said there was about the senior player, the person who's been there, done that, setting the tone for the underclassmen. I mean, I don't care what sport it is. I guess you could speak more on that. That's a big deal, I guess, in a team sport, right? I mean, you need that senior leadership to bring that younger player on, correct?
Yeah, I mean, and you can see it in successful programs where the seniors will say, "Hey, that's not what we do here," or "This is how we do this." And so, you look at the way that, if you talk about practice structure and the way that, take Coach Johnson, for example, her older players could come out and bring the younger players out and run practice, and they would know exactly what to do. I mean, they have learned it, and it's just, part of the process. And so it just feeds itself. The older ones look out for the younger ones, and it just keeps building. And and then as it keeps going, that group will grow up and they understand what it meant. And they learned it from the older class, and they know, hey, we've got to show these younger ones what it is, and this is how we do things at Hoover. And so that's part of the saying best is the standard. I mean, you're holding yourself and that next group to that standard and showing them how things are done.
You mentioned that success and the standard that you guys have built. This is not new to Hoover. You guys have had success for over 2 decades. What were some of the other sports that had great seasons last year, just maybe weren't up there with the basketball, but you guys were great across the board?
Yeah, I mean, you started off with football. I mean, football would come out and, end up getting to the semifinals and had a I don't want to say it was our worst game, but like it was not the time to have that game. And it just played a really good team. And, I think, if we played again, we may win that game. It's just one of those things. They were really good, and but it showed, that our guys were able to battle. And even this year, the games that we've lost, I mean, we played IMG to start with, and it was a 1-score game at halftime. I mean, so we're right there in it. Had a couple injuries, and now we're coming back out of it. So football is trending in the right direction. if you look at our cross country program, we girls finished second last year, and it was just, we got clipped at the line on one kid, and it was the difference. I mean, that's how close it was for us winning a state championship in girls cross country. And so, and then track and field. I mean, I think they were on, I want to say it's 5 in a row for boys and girls, and outdoor and indoor. And we won both the indoor championships. And then we had a couple of guys that didn't qualify at sectionals for outdoor, and that ended up being kind of the margin. I mean, there were some points we left out on the track in a couple other events, but again, the girls won. So, softball, qualifying for state, get to the Final Four. Baseball's in the quarterfinals, and just ran into a really, really good team in that round. And it's like every sport is right there in the mix at the end of the year. Volleyball went to the Final Four. They back-to-back years. It's the first time that's ever happened in school history. So Coach Woods got them peaking. Like I said last night, they won the area championship, and we'll host the area tournament. So that we got flag football that's just starting up, and they're getting rolling. And if you look going to winter sports, our wrestling program, I think all time got 5 state titles. I mean, they're in the mix. They got a kind of a younger team, and got some older kids. I say older, they were kids that I brought up when I was the head wrestling coach. They were 7th and 8th graders, and we brought them up, and now they're fixing to be seniors. So it's like it just keep getting older. Time doesn't slow down. And then our swim and dive, it's something that we're trying to develop and get those kids out. Our cheer program is successful. Every year they're right there. And I'm looking up here. Our soccer team came off of our girls soccer team came off a state runner-up season the year before, and just got in the area. I mean, it was an area that was really, really strong, and just had a couple games where it cost them. And you look at it realistically, they could have been playing for it again. I mean, that's how close, this difficult this area and region is in all sports. I mean, you're, all the big elite 7A schools are all, within probably 15 miles of each other. So we get to beat up on each other all the time. So it's a good situation where we're at. The competition is good, and and then it's what our kids are used to. I mean, they grow up playing against these other communities, and they know though that you go to Hoover, and there's a level you gotta perform at.
Here's one for you, Coach.
Before we go any further, I forgot our esports won state championship in Super Smash Brothers. So I don't know, over there I have my little case, and you can see all the state championships. One is that since I've been AD, and there's one over there for esports. Kind of cool.
Awesome. Great segue with that championship and all the other championships across the board in your athletics. Does it get old? I mean, in your celebration, it's kind of like, hey, we've been here, done that, been there, done that kind of thing. Are you and your staff and also the players, because I know there's a standard, and we've talked about that, and I appreciate that you want to set a bar, but can you see the students and your coaches really appreciate each and every championship, or is it kind of like, okay, whatever?
Yeah, no, you can see it, and I think there's a little bit of relief because they don't want to lose. I mean, it's so if they appreciate it, and it's like we try to, if we win one, that's over with. That season's over. Nobody can take it from us. We're not going to defend it. They can say you're the defending state champ, but if we lose, they're not going to take that one from us. So it's a new season, and our coaches are really good at getting them focused for the next one. We've got that one now to the next one, and it's always moving forward. And we're kind of intentional with what we do. Like our our logos and our word marks, if you'll notice, they're always going forward. Everything is angled forward because we're like, that's how we do it. We're going forward. We appreciate the past. I mean, our all the way back to Berry High School. I mean, it's been successful, and it's almost like we, sometimes we got to remind ourselves that we're kind of, they say, standing on the shoulders of giants. I mean, we're getting, our level is where we're at because of people that came before us. And so, we don't ever forget the past, but we don't stay there. We're always looking forward to the next one.
We know the players are all in it, but this becomes kind of a whole community approach as well. What's the role of the Hoover community in supporting the athletes, and what makes the fan base in the city so special when it comes to high school sports specifically?
Well, I mean, it's, I think we just won again the best place to live in Alabama award. I mean, so this place is unbelievable. And then you've got this school system, and in this school, our community believes the way we do, that we should win everything. And so it doesn't matter what we're doing. We want to win, and, we want to be the best at everything. And, we take pride in being the best place to live in Alabama. It's on banners down the street. You can see it when you're driving in. This place is, and it carries pressure, but the pressure is good because if they didn't care about athletics, like, you're in the wrong place. You don't want to be somewhere where, just putting the team on the field is enough. That's not what we do here. Like, everything that we do, I think our band just came off a state championship year. They won the state championship in band competitions. I mean, that's what we expect. If you're going to do it, like, we want to be champions in all we do. And that's where our community feels. And they, if they feel like you're not living up to that standard, they'll tell you about it. And we appreciate it. Like, we know, like, we want to be there too.
Well, with all the success, that bar just keeps going higher and higher. What's next for Hoover Athletics, and how do you keep building and sustaining that championship culture?
Yeah, it's something that we talk about, that in it's a lofty goal, but for every sport, not only do I want to be the best in Alabama, but I want to be the best in the country. Like, when they rank the teams across America, I want Hoover to be the best in everything. And so, we're going to win state championships, and those are special. Every one of them is special. But if we're always striving to be the best out of everybody, we'll always have a certain level of success. And so you can't ever rest. We've never had I don't think we've ever had a national champion, like, from a poll or max preps or anything like that. So we're, that's something that I think that we could do. And, and again, it's not to discount the state level, because there's unbelievable teams in this state, and to be the best in the state is a big deal in every sport. But I kind of want to win everything.
Does that make playing someone like an IMG like its own little championship inside itself, because it's from another state? It's they recruit nationally or something like that. Does that kind of give your coaches and your team a little more pep in their step to play that a little harder?
Yeah, I mean, and that's something that we should be doing. I mean, we should be playing in those games, because we're trying to elevate our program to that level. So, that's something that we expect to do. And so, like I said, Crystal Johnson goes and finds national level teams and goes plays them. Scott Ware took the group to Alaska last year to go play up there, and ended up only having one game that was close. So, I mean, we're trying to find those people. Baseball went out to California last year, and that's what we expect. I tell the coaches, and if we're going to do it, let's go find people. Let's go play the best that we can play. We've had pretty good success. I mean, the trip to California, got to play some really good teams. It was a good experience for the kids, but we're trying to elevate that level of play, and so I tell the guys, go. Like, we'll find a way, go. And so
that's awesome.
That's what we want to do.
All right. Well, if you're ready for this, we will move into our favorite segment. It's called Game Time Decisions. I'll ask you quick questions and you give quick answers back. Are you ready?
All right.
Right. Favorite moment from the championship season?
Oh my gosh. You didn't say these questions were going to be hard.
I know sometimes they are.
Yeah.
Now I think each championship, like, because they'll have a team dinner afterwards, and that's when you really get to see it. Like you get to hear the kids talk about it, and they talk about their coaches, and and sometimes they'll even talk about me, and I'm like, hey, I'm just supporting you guys. I just get to watch this, but those moments are probably the favorite for me, is when you get to see the kids reflect on it and really enjoy what they were a part of. It's really special to see.
What would you say was more nerve-wracking, the final minute of the boys' title game or the girls' second quarter comeback?
I don't want to sound like neither one of them bothered me. I was more worried about making sure everybody had passes down on the floor. I trusted what was happening.
All right. Best Hoover game day tradition?
Oh man. I'll say for football, we play at the Hoover Met, which is an amazing stadium. They take the team over. They'll have somebody come in and speak to them for breakfast, and so they get to go there beforehand in the Michael Jordan room. Sun's coming up. You get to overlook the field. It's still got some dew on it. It's just it's kind of a special moment. And then they'll come back to school, and then at the afternoon they get on the bus. A lot of teams don't ride the bus to their home games, and so it's almost like a collegiate experience. So they get there, and the parents do the thing called a buck walk, and so they'll line up, and it's parents, fans, people for the community come out, and they just line the entrance. When the buses pull up, they get off the bus, and it's like something you see on college game day, and they're cheering them as they come in. I mean, it's really a special thing, and it's something that our parents embrace, and they love to do it because they want to support their kids, and cheerleaders are there. I mean, it's a really cool moment.
What is one lesson that you hope every Hoover athlete takes with them after graduation?
I think I want them to be, men and women of character. Like when they graduate, I want them to always look to do the right thing, even when everybody else is doing the wrong thing. That there's never a wrong time to do the right thing. And so if that's picking up a piece of trash when you're walking in the building, or telling somebody, no, I'm not doing that because that's wrong. I want them to be able to make good choices when they leave here. And our coaches do a really good job of instilling that in them. I think coaches have an unbelievable opportunity to influence young people, and we've got really good people that are here doing that. And it's a special place. I mean, I don't think there's anywhere like it.
You mentioned the coaches. Who's the most competitive coach on staff?
Ooh, I better not say that, because there's a bunch of them. They're all competitive.
They'll be coming after you.
Yeah, I'll have to have a meeting with them, because they'll be mad at me.
What's the loudest you've ever heard the gym during a Hoover game?
Well, there's been some moments. I don't know, we've had a few football games over the past couple seasons where like the crowd was feeling it. They could feel the resurgence of the Bucks. And again, you go back to the BJCC or Legacy Arena in basketball. I mean, there were some moments you can't hear yourself. You're trying to talk to somebody and you can't, because you can't hear what you're saying. That's the fun part. Is usually when we're playing, there's a crowd, and it's loud. We've got a group of cheerleaders that they do basketball, but we've kind of recruited them to do volleyball in some cases. Orange Crush, and they they came to the Final Four, and they were just, it was a really, really good environment. I think we had the loudest group in the place, and so that's why we like it. If we're gonna have a student section, I think our student section won the best student section in Alabama last year. We call them the Boneyard, and they bring it. I'll say that they bring the energy when they show up.
And where's the best post-game celebration food spot in Hoover?
There's a Waffle House that gets a lot of action. The Chick-fil-A at the Grove has started staying open a little bit. Beef O'Brady's has become they do a lot for us. We do our coaches show at Beef O'Brady's. George McClooney, the owner, he loves Hoover athletics, and so they've kind of started a tradition with girls basketball. When they win, they'll go to Beef O'Brady's afterwards for the celebratory meal. So that's probably Waffle House and Beefs have kind of moved up to be the choice of champions, I guess you say.
Love it. Well, you handled that hot seat like a champ. And this has been an amazing conversation. Congratulations again to both the boys and girls programs and your entire athletic department on an unforgettable year. It is history that will be talked about for quite some time.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it. It's good to, for those teams to be recognized. And, again, I'm thankful that you guys, wanted us to be on here.
Well, and I know it's easy to say a standard at Hoover, but anyone who knows anything about athletics, there's a lot of hard work behind the scenes, and there's a lot of talented people at Hoover to invest in those young athletes. So kudos to your whole staff, your coaches, and those kids for buying into the program, because you can say standard, but you got to live up to it. And obviously Hoover Athletics has done that across multiple sports for many, many years.
Yeah. We appreciate it. And, yeah, and I think we're in a position to keep it rolling, and I think that's
best of luck to you as you continue your season this year. And that is going to wrap up this episode of Building a Champion. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share this episode with someone who loves high school sports. Until next time, keep striving, keep growing, and keep building champions.